Welcome to today's crash course on one of history's most formidable figures, Genghis Khan. He was born in 1162 near the border of what we now recognize as Mongolia and Siberia, and his birth name was Temujin. But as fate would have it, he would rise to become the great conqueror of the Mongolian Empire and extend his influence across Asia. Legends say that upon his birth, he grasped a clot of blood in his hand, a sign that hinted at the great destiny he would fulfill. However, Temujin's early life was marked by trials that would shape his destiny. Captured by enemies intent on killing him, he narrowly escaped due to the intervention of a compassionate captor. This experience, along with the abduction of his wife, Bort, ignited a fierce determination within him, one that fueled his quest for power.
Let's dive into the leadership style of Genghis Khan. While his campaigns resulted in millions of deaths, they also stemmed from a vision of unity among diverse tribes. Genghis Khan was relentless in challenging established hierarchies and developing innovative military tactics that would set him apart from other leaders. His ability to navigate complexity and communicate effectively made him a brilliant governor of his vast empire. Genghis Khan wasn't just a conqueror, he was a transformative leader. He dismantled traditional clan hierarchies and created a meritocracy. Leading from the front lines, his soldiers had unwavering trust in him, ready to embrace new tactics because they knew he would never ask them to take risks he wasn't willing to take himself. Furthermore, despite his ruthlessness, Genghis Khan respected the customs and religions of the people he conquered, understanding that lasting peace can only be achieved through inclusion and respect. His rule created a culture of innovation and creativity, establishing a legacy that resonates to this day.
Let's explore a couple of significant battles that define Genghis Khan's legacy. His conquests of the Western Xia dynasty and the Jin dynasty. The Western Xia, established in 1038, found itself positioned between formidable neighbors, including the Jin dynasty. Genghis Khan first set his sights on the Western Xia in 1205, even before he was declared the supreme ruler of the Mongolian Empire. Recognizing that the Jin dynasty would likely come to Western Xia's defense, he strategized to conquer this territory as a gateway to further expansion. Initially, he faced challenges in capturing key cities. However, through relentless siege battles, Genghis Khan demonstrated his might, ultimately forcing their surrender. The second invasion of the Western Xia in the 1220s was nothing short of brutal, resulting in the loss of around 300,000 enemy soldiers. Moving on, let's talk about Genghis Khan's legacy as a ruler. Genghis Khan is often associated with conquest, destruction, and bloodshed. But was his rule really that bad? Genghis Khan had not only a legacy of ruthlessness, but also one of cultural development, achievement, and new ways of life. Ruling the largest empire in history, spanning the entire Asian continent, Genghis Khan had to rule with an eye for both order and unity. His system for the conquered areas placed some Mongolian people at the top, but allowed former local officials to run everyday life. This system helped the Mongolians keep control of conquered areas, but also keep in touch with their population. Another standout of Genghis Khan's legacy as a ruler was his unification of Asia. The Mongol Empire united Chinese, Islamic, Iranian, nomadic, and Central Asian cultures. This unification caused a spike in trade, specifically with artists and craftsmen. They also had extensive communication, using a method involving horses carrying written messages through a system of stations.
Now that we've gone over how Genghis Khan ruled his empire, let's go over how his people lived. Genghis Khan allowed some local autonomy for his people, meaning he did not have full control over how his people lived, as it differed slightly from khanate to khanate. There were 4 major khanates, each with their own government. For common people, life involved agriculture, herding, craftsmanship, or trade. Cities grew substantially due to increased trade and imperial investment. This increased trade also benefited the common people, but they were still subject to military conscription, forced labor, and sudden commands. Life was difficult for those in the Mongol Empire, but it wasn't all bad. Genghis Khan promoted people based on merit rather than promoting people based on background. Also, religious tolerance was a major aspect of his empire, even providing tax exemptions for religious leaders and protecting sacred institutions. This openness of religion allowed the Mongol Empire to acquire new ideas and innovations. Genghis Khan also had a justice system for his empire. The Mongol justice system was based on loyalty, discipline, and respect. The Yam system was used to help detect rebellions or delays in communication to swiftly deal with them. The Mongol Empire maintained order through fear and surveillance. Genghis Khan also issued the Yasa, a set of laws that dictated things like theft all the way to military conduct. In conclusion, Genghis Khan's legacy shows how complicated his impact on history really was. Although his conquests led to a lot of destruction, they also opened up opportunities for trade and cultural connections and changed many societies. By bringing together people under his rule, he helped create a more connected world. Genghis Khan's life is a reminder of how one person's actions can shape history in big ways.